Hey guys, with the stock market right now, it's important that all of us reset our mindset because we are not living in the same market that we were in the last couple years, from the end of 2022 up until the beginning of 2025, where every dip got bought and we went on an insane bull run. We are now in a different kind of market, right? We have to adapt. And now each rally is being met by sellers, and this is probably going to persist until we clear through tariffs and the retaliation of all that. So maybe it's mid to late April, okay, where we start slowly climbing out. But it does take a while, remember, for sentiment to change. And we also need to see earnings improve, right? That's what drives stock prices in the end, are fundamentals of a company, right? With earnings, there's three pillars that hold up the economy or the stock market. You have the macro, the technical, and the fundamental. So obviously the macro with inflation, right? With tariffs, those kind of things, interest rates. Technicals are obviously the charts, right? Support, resistance, all that, like we've talked about. And then fundamentals are earnings, which again, that's the number one thing driving a stock price in the end. So don't forget that. Now, a lot of companies lowered their guidance because of the uncertainty over what Trump is doing. And that makes sense, right? Management's not going to raise guidance when they don't know what's going on, right? So they're conservative, they lowered it. And so that's part of the reason stocks sold off a lot too. But now this lowered guidance should be easier to beat. And then it's going to come down to obviously their guidance for the next quarter. And I do think over this quarter until next report that they're going to get more clarity, okay? And maybe there's some deregulation that happens, right? Which makes them feel a little more confident. So it's at least going to take a quarter, maybe two, right, to show up where management's upping their guidance again, or like I said, increasing their guidance. So patience is advised right now, guys. Like I said, stocks, don't expect anything to happen where rallies are going to continue until we clear through tariffs and, like I said, the retaliation of all that. So give it till mid to late April, okay, for that to happen. So that's why I'm saying there's no need to be looking at your account several times a day because, like I said, it'll just frustrate you and possibly have you sell, out of that frustration or fear, okay? So the best thing you do is get away from it, or like I said, nibble a little at a time, buy a little dollar cost average. That's what I'm doing because we want to buy from the sellers, right? When there's fear, remember, be greedy when others are fearful. And then we want to sell back to the buyers later when everyone's FOMOing in, right? Be fearful when others are greedy at that point, right? You got to go opposite the herd, guys. And again, I'm here to help you with this. I've done this several times. It's hard to do, but with time, we get better at buying into the fear where we don't freak out. I mean, when we have cash on the sidelines, obviously that helps. I understand if you don't, it's a different story. But if you always have cash on the sidelines, right, you have a paycheck coming where you can add a little bit, then you can get excited and start thinking of these dips like now as discount shopping.